Thanks for having
Thank
us. We really appreciate it.
Oh my! All right, what a great way to
Thanks,
start
guys.
here. I told you we'd have a little fun this morning here with what goes on, and we've got a heck of a group of young men we'd like to introduce to you. We're going to introduce the men here, and then we'll bring on the girls a little bit later as we talk about the 2021 race. But we've got quite a group of folks that we'd like to introduce to you now here. We're going to talk with all of them in depth as we go through for the next 45 minutes or so, and then we're going to get down to the legendary races. But we'd like to introduce them to you first. If you're into the sport, this is almost like Olympian bingo right here, right now. If you can name all those guys in there, then that's pretty impressive, and you know the sport. So each one, we're going to introduce each one of them here, and we just like to ask them as I introduce them. We're going to talk about races and all that stuff, and have some interesting conversations about training. Most of you guys are coaching now, or at least advising people, so are still racing. What you're doing during these tough times here in 2020. But maybe just for a minute after I introduce you, give me just a little quick. I don't think a lot of people realize that it's not just that race you see online for those 15 or 20 minutes on that Saturday morning. It's 3 pretty cool days, maybe just about the coolest hotel in the country. So maybe you can share with us after we introduce you one quick memory of Foot Locker that's not related to the actual race on Saturday morning. So if I may, let me start here. I'm going to start with Bob Kennedy there. Bob was, of course, in 1986, made his first appearance at Foot Locker and got 3rd. And then in 1987, he came back and he won the Foot Locker, running 14:59, and then did something very unusual the following year, went right on to Indiana and won the NCAA championship. He was an NCAA champion indoor and outdoor track. 2-time Olympian, 6th in the Olympic Games in 1996 at 5,000, and then set American records at both 3,000 and at 2 miles and at 5,000. He ran 12:58.21 to break the American record there. So I'd like to welcome Bob Kennedy. Welcome, Bob.
Thanks. Great to be here. It's a great group of athletes and, frankly, friends of mine. So it's great to be here with everybody else. Foot Locker was a beginning for lots of us, for me. You mentioned it, you just mentioned it, the experience was something I had never seen before. The Hotel Del in San Diego on Coronado is amazing. And you kind of walk in as a junior in high school. Wow, it was insane. And so I left there. One of the speakers my junior year was Mary Decker Slaney, and she said, I'll never forget this. She said, you will never be treated as well as you're being treated this weekend, even if you're a professional athlete. And that ended up being pretty true. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. No doubt about it. Well, we said Bob went right from being the Foot Locker national champion to be the NCAA champion the following year. Our next guest did the same thing. Edward Cheserek came as a junior to Foot Locker and won it as a junior in what really is one of the epic races. It's that one we showed where Fitzsimmons and Edward battled back and forth. They ran 14:52 and 14:53. Edward came back his senior year and won it again. Then he went on to Oregon and was the NCAA cross country champion and the first of 17 NCAA championships while at Oregon. And then just last weekend, right back out here in Southern California, ran 27:23 for 10K on the track. Welcome, Edward. We're going to get Edward's mic unmuted there. I think we got it. There we go. Edward, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Hey, Edward, you're 27:23 last week. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was a great rate, actually. Yeah, I kind of wanted to run a little bit faster, but I've been waiting. I've been doing this short distance, but last weekend I get an opportunity to get a good feel and run fast 10,000. But I'm looking forward to run more faster and faster throughout maybe next year.
Oh, congratulations. That was excellent. Let's move on to Todd Williams there. Way back in 1986, second, but ran 14:49. Now, that's the 6th fastest time ever on that San Diego course. He went on to become an All-American at Tennessee, was our national champion cross country a couple times, set American record for 15K on the roads, 60 minutes, 11 seconds for the half marathon. Of course, a U.S. Olympian. Welcome, Todd.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I think Bob hit it right on the head. I think, out of all the events that I was, fortunate to train really hard and be able to make a couple Olympic teams, make the world championship teams. I think my memories of going out to Foot Locker and just the experience, like Bob said, going up into the hotel and my best experience at that point was probably a Holiday Inn on the side of a highway driving down to spring break with my dad. So when I got to go out there and experience everything and I think now looking back 33 years, it's all the lifelong friends that I made during that one weekend. It's awesome. You can pick up the phone and make some calls and laugh a lot. And, I think Mark Davis and I, at the time it was, he was a super rival of mine, right? I wanted to beat Mark Davis, but, the lifelong friendship that we obtained after that weekend, I'll never be able to replace that with anything. So the memories I have of Foot Locker is top of the list.
Awesome. Well, let's move over to Mark. Mark had the shortest distance to travel for anybody going to Foot Locker. His high school just about a couple blocks away. So he made it there in 1985 and got 8th. In 1986, won the national championship and ran 14:38. Now that's the second fastest ever, just 2 seconds off Ruben Reyna's course record. Went on to the University of Arizona, was an NCAA champion there, won our national championship in the steeple at 5,000, and was a 1996 Olympian. Welcome, Mark. Oh, we have to unmute you. So as we go through this, if you just hold down your space bar, I'll unmute you also. So Mark,
all right, there we go. Hey, thanks for having me. I think this has just been a pretty, let's see, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're good. You're all
okay.
Go ahead.
So, hey, thanks for having me. And I think, the experience of Foot Locker was amazing. I think for Todd and Bob and I and some of the older athletes, it was a unique experience because back then we didn't really know a lot about the other athletes that were coming. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have, all the plethora of information that was coming at us all the time. So I think it was really kind of fascinating to meet these people for the first time and really get to know them. And like Todd said, I mean, lifelong friendships. I talk to Todd often. I chat with Bob every once in a while. I chat up with Steve as well. So I just think it's an amazing experience that you end up carrying for the rest of your career. And that's really the best thing about it. You have teammates in high school, you have teammates in college, but really I actually speak to more people that I hung out with at Foot Locker than anybody.
Oh, thanks so much to have you with us. So we really appreciate it. Let's go on to Steve. Steve Slattery made it to Foot Locker in 1996, finished 9th, went on to the University of Colorado, was a runner-up in the NCAA championships in the steeplechase, made it to the world championships twice there. Steve, we've been having a lot of these Colorado folks on. They've been really pushing this stuff, that connection. I'm sure Dathan will get on it too, but hey, welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for having me. It's great to see everybody.
It's nice to have you with us here. And speaking of Colorado, another one coming up here, Dathan Ritzenheim is with us. Now, he made it to Foot Locker 3 times, which is pretty rare for a boy to make it as a sophomore, but he got 8th. And then he came back in 1999 and not only won it, but that's when we were in Florida and he ran 14:29. And if you're into speed ratings, that's considered by folks to be the fastest high school race ever. And that was one of the great Foot Locker races. That was one heck of a field. And then came back in 2000. And we'll talk about that 2000 race in a little while because a lot of people consider it really a benchmark of American distance running and all, and what was about to happen. But he ran 14:35, was a junior bronze medalist in the World Cross Country Championships that year, and then went on to break, I think it was Bob's record at 5,000, wasn't it? Running 12:56.27. So Dathan, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's good to see everybody here. Good to see Bob there. He sent me a good message after breaking the American record. So that's always great to have guys like Bob and Todd. Those were guys that I looked up to. And then as me and Alan and Ryan came through Foot Locker, it just kept going, and we have Edward here as well. So it's pretty awesome to see people from across different generations, and those people inspired me, and I hope that we were able to inspire those like Edward, and Edward was able to inspire the next generation who are watching this show, and hopefully next year when it comes back again, we just keep it rolling.
Yeah, that's been a theme of all this inspiring others. I think Jenny Simpson shared with us last week. She was at that race as a volunteer, just working, helping out, and was impressed and really got into it there. So speaking of setting American records out of that same group there, we'll go on to Ryan Hall there. Ryan was 3rd in Foot Locker in 2000, 14:59. went on to be an NCAA champion at Stanford. The American record holder at the half marathon, 59:43. Oh my. And 2:04:58 for the full marathon. He's an Olympian also. Ryan, welcome.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm stoked to be on with you guys. And like these guys are saying, for me, like the highlight of Foot Locker was just the people I met. You know, not only on the guy side, but also on the girl side. You know, I met my wife Sarah at the Foot Locker West Regions, and we hung out more when we were in Orlando. So, you know, the quality of people at Foot Locker to me is like what it's all about and what really makes the event what it is. I mean, yeah, like the hotels are nice. It's nice to get flown somewhere. But the quality of people you meet there, the lifelong relationships you build there is you know, what I'll take with me all the way to my grave.
Thank you so much here. And let's finish off here. We just keep with this American record theme here. So Alan Webb in 1999 finished 8th at 15:05 and then came back and got second in that great 2000 race at 14:55. And then ran a pretty fast mile in high school, huh? 3:53:43. He also 1:47:74 at 800. Was our USA champion at 1500. And of course, the American mile record holder at 3:46:91 and an Olympian. Alan, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Obviously, just echoing what everybody's already said about just the experience that you have at Foot Locker is, you know, unparalleled. You know, we were in Florida, Dathan, Ryan, and myself, and I still just remember walking on that little pier. You know, one of the nights before where we had. They had, like, you know, our dinner set up and just soaking up just that awesome experience. And then I also just, I remember Dathan, you carrying around a box of cereal and just munching on some cereal straight out of the box. So I was like, okay, is this what you got to do to keep the carbs coming in, I guess? But yeah, just the memories of just making friends and you know, that continue on through the rest of your career and then through your whole life. So, and yeah, so it was awesome.
Oh no, the secret's out, Dathan. There we go. Now they'll know. It isn't
I was
all
trying.
miles, huh?
I was trying to get into his head right then, you know.
It worked, man.
It worked. Very good.